So our next speaker is Dr. Cyrus Mehta, young dynamic surgeon and surgical chief of the International Eye Center. And over to you, Dr. Cyrus.
Hi, everyone. It's been a wonderful day for me today. I've learned a lot. I've never seen an expulsive hemorrhage in phaco, but nice to meet people who have seen one. Okay, so this is a bit of a unique situation. We bought this Catalyst system about 4 years ago. In the beginning, we were playing with it and trying to figure it out. And the application specialist knew even less than us. And it's been a kind of learning experience. So this is what happened right in the beginning. So a patient like this presents, we thought it would be a great idea to fix this with femto, but the femto, instead of doing a rhexis, has made some odd puncture marks like that. So we were left doing a regular capsular rhexis with a forceps. And you know, in an extreme subluxation like this, it's always a little challenging. And the rhexis started to run away, you can see that. So I started pulling it in the opposite direction to get it back in. And somehow I managed to complete the rhexis by tearing a few zonules, but I had a very, very thin rim. So this rim is so thin, I cannot put capsular hooks anymore. So even though I do have a rhexis, now my only option is to use an anchor. So an anchor is basically a PMMA device with two legs. This was invented by this guy in Israel, Ehud Assia. They've come out with version 2, which is 3-dimensional now. This was a single-dimensional anchor from 4 years ago. And this was a free sample that he had given me. So I fished it out, and you tie it to a 9 or a 10 Prolene suture with a straight needle and railroad the suture out of the eye. So this is a very straightforward procedure. It's very simple. Just go about 2 millimeters behind the limbus and just railroad with a 26 number needle, railroad the straight Prolene needle out of the eye. So now you've got the anchor inside the eye sitting on top of the anterior capsule with the human lens still there, attached by a suture which is going out at 6 o'clock. So this was not really a cataract, it was more like clear lens aspiration. So I'm just using a bimanual eye, which gives me better control. I don't have a unimanual anymore, so it's not much of a question of do I like a coaxial or bimanual. I don't have a coaxial. So it's always been bimanual since I started doing phaco 20 years ago. So in goes the anchor. You can see you can trap the capsule in the legs of the anchor. And then you pass that same needle through half thickness of sclera. So one pass. And then you can make a second pass and just tie it and bury the knot. So you don't need the scleral flap or anything fancy there. That knot will not come out and will not irritate. This patient comes for follow-up. He's a young boy, comes for follow-up. Now it's been 3 years. Everything seems to be okay. So you've created a capsular bag now, which is rather well centered. And in goes the IOL. Open it on top of a iris repositor so it doesn't suddenly spring open, because if you dislodge the device from the capsular margin, the whole capsule will just flop away and then you will be stuck. So you can see that's a traction line there. The lens is in the bag, and that's the end of the procedure. We did some limited anterior vitrectomy after tricot, etc. All that's been edited out. That's just a little bit that you saw at the end. So that's the end of the surgery. So even though basically take home messages, if you have a very thin capsular rim and you still want to retain the capsule, you just don't want to do a scleral fixator or glued IOL and things like that, you can still manage with the anchor type of device. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cyrus.
Wonderful.
I'm sure it goes without saying that if there is a rhexis tear, you won't be using this, right?
No, of course not. So this is an intact capsule, but with a very, very small capsular rim.
Yeah.
Cyrus, I just wanted to know what was the diagnosis? Was it ectopia lentis or was it a...
This was an ectopia lentis, ma'am. It was bilateral. We did the same thing in the other eye as well.
Only thing is that ectopia lentis, this zonular problem tends to be progressive. So over a period of time, again, you would have to closely watch that zonules do not become progressively weak. And that is why
Yeah,
in these cases, a glued IOL would also be
yeah.
a
We
better.
did the same procedure in the other eye, and this was a school-going child, 8th, 9th standard, and he got hit on the eye, and he said, suddenly I can't see, and he came back, and the capsule had fallen off the anchor in the other eye, and the lens had fallen into the posterior chamber. So out came the lens, and then we did a glued IOL in the second eye. But this one is still staying there quite well.
So Cyrus, I would agree with Amrita that the procedure of choice should be a scleral fixation, whatever way you want to, because here you are just making a connection at a limited point, and this is a progressive thing which would go all over. And
Yeah.
the change has a long way to go, and the dislocation or total or a partial subluxation can also happen where the tilt can be there. So you need to disregard the capsule, sacrifice it, and go in for any Yamane or whatever blue dial, whatever technique you want. That would be the best for such a case. That
Right,
is,
sir.
I think from the femto, what you did or didn't do was that you, when you get the image at that particular time, one was that you should have done it on capsular center rather than, I think it was still seems to be on pupil center. That's why it was such a decentered capsulotomy. The second thing is that you never get the OCT image coming on its own. The planes of the nucleus, the anterior and the posterior, do not come out well. So you have to actually work on the bubbles to bring it and align it. So that is why you didn't get an adequate round cut, and it was because it seems to have been off focus from the anterior capsule. That was the reason why you got these skip areas to such a large extent.
So apart from the points that was mentioned, sometimes if the lens is quite subluxated, in spite of all the adjustments, you don't get a very uniform rexus even in the femtosecond. But of course, this kind of large skip areas I have not seen, and even in this subluxated cases I have used. The question to you, Cyrus, is that, I mean, this seems to be, I have heard about this device, but I don't think many of us have much experience with this. Is it better than a Hamad segment simply because it seems to have 2 points of anchor? And secondly, very often we use an endocapsular ring also along with in these situations. Of course, I agree that in these extreme subluxations, maybe going on to a scleral fixation would be a good idea. But if you have to use it, is it possible to, is there space enough for an endocapsular ring also to be introduced along with this?
We would have to use a
Yeah,
ring.
the new version of the ring has got 3 dimensions. I've seen it. I haven't got one, but it's 3 dimensions like this. So it's much easier to engage and probably easier than a Hamad segment because it won't slip out. It's like a paper clip, like what Dr. Susan Jacob had shown in many of her videos. It's that kind of a device. So it engages very nicely into the bag. I think, of course, all these things are expensive and not available. So it's good to make one video and show everyone, and then after that we go back to the Hamad segment.
Also in this ectopia lentis, I am planning to do a glued IOL or scleral fixated IOL, then rather than making a single capsular rexus, you can make 2 stab incisions on the capsule itself and do a intralenticular aspiration so that this thing doesn't drop down. And especially in extreme ectopia lentis, with the 2 irrigation as well as aspiration port, and if it's a child, you just need to aspirate. You get it to the center because you can always put it to the center and do an intralenticular aspiration followed by the vitrector. You eat away the capsule and then do a glued IOL.
Paucity of time, I think we go on. We have 3 more speakers.
One last one. If you have to preserve the bag, as Dr. Mahipal was discussing, if we have to preserve the bag fixation should be done. It should be a double bag fixation at 180 degrees apart. Dr. Cyrus, I would have gone in for a double fixation because it's a progressive one to if we think of preserving the bag.
So actually, there is no great sense in preserving the bag because then it's a young child. You will have PCO and you will have, so actually in such a huge subluxation. Apart from showing a great video during these sessions, I would personally not be interested in preserving the bag because
Yeah, this was basically an OPL video. So
Give it up to me. Maipal, I just want to, because the tilt was so much.
Yeah.
That is the reason why the femto was not able to identify the capsule.
You get a good focus on that because the
Yeah.
line is very difficult to get a good focus. And if you just press the button without focusing, that's a problem.
Yes.
Thank you. We